it also looks like we're steadily adding members, which is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah, it is really good.
Yep, and just getting that engagement will be key,
Yep.
but it's going to take time. And as the trust gets there, which is why I said I want to make sure that I do my part just to share certain things. And one thing that, as I'm learning, well, I know parts of Slack, but there maybe we should not add a channel, but mention a channel where we can, because I want to upload a couple of potential designs, and I don't want them to get lost in the sauce. I guess there's a couple of file sections.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, you can you upload files that, in a post.
Well, yeah, I know. I was thinking, I'm trying to make sure I put them in the right location, or that way, if somebody asks, hey, anybody have any ideas about a design about X, Y, and Z, if we can just say, hey, go check that section, as opposed to, we can do it in the post, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple places you could do. I mean, there's depends on what it's about. I mean, is it CMMC specific?
Well, I'm just basically, and there may be multiple, but I mean, as we have more of these conversations, I'm looking at the feeds where there's been some activity. A good feed about printers and where information can be, even if there's a design. Okay, well, this would be, because I know that a lot of the chat and chatter is in there saying this would be accepted, this probably would be frowned upon by assessors, and I was looking at some of those and I said, you know what, maybe I'll take a stab at just putting some high level designs of what some of these would look like to correspond to some of the conversation, just because visual aids, for some people, it may help.
It does. What what I'm trying to do over in the workshop is I'm trying to put together a sort of a scenario called Fab US, so fabricate, trying to mimic in a manufacturer, small manufacturer, and building a scenario around that.
Yeah, that makes fabrication.
And that might be a good place to put these little scenarios, or little architectures that might say, hey, what if they did this? What would that be? And have people kind of bounce on it.
No, I think that's a great idea, and I know.
Yeah.
And as these relationships get developed, people will become more and more comfortable with one another. And ultimately, business starts happening. That's where the magic happens. And I've been part of growing several communities, in the Microsoft ecosystem over the last 20-ish years. CMMC to even the MPN itself, being part of the some of the advisors and worldwide partner area leads and things like that. So really getting that engagement where the rubber meets the road, as is important.
It is
community driven one. So I applaud your efforts, and we definitely want to support and be actively engaged. That's why I do my best to make as many of these as I can, and I'll continue to offer whatever insight I can, even if it's a question I may know the answer to. But if a customer asks me a question and it's one that I think is thought provoking, just putting it out there, because I think somebody else is going to run into the same thing, whether now or later.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I was just pulling up a briefing I'm working on. I have a board of directors meeting on Thursday evening, so I was putting together some numbers. So we have currently there's 38 individuals that are in the active members section, so they're on the Slack. And then we have 96 people as of yesterday, and on the informed side. So there's people paying attention to what's going on, and the active members. Hopefully we get more people chattering in Slack and get that moving. But just dropping topics like that in to chew on a little bit, and that'd be good.
Are you going to get another time slot on the board meeting this week? On the accreditation board meeting?
Oh, the Cyber AB? No, I don't anticipate getting another speaking spot there for at least a few months, because they'll want to rotate through some.
And they're one of their slides, when they talk about things going on in the community, maybe they can give a shout out.
I think Matt intends to do that, and So I'm going to definitely keep the dialogue open with him and keep pushing him to, get the word out there to MSPs, because as the rule gets closer and closer, and in fact, it just came up yesterday in a discussion I was having with a company that was using MSP and thinking that they were in a staff augmentation mode. And then as we started talking through the gap assessment, we found out that the MSP is actually doing, they're using ConnectWise and they're using Splashtop and they're using all these things to come in and manage their systems. I said, you realize that is not staff augmentation. That's just standard old MSP doing the MSP thing. So that MSP is going to have to be CMMC level 2. And it was a major eye opener for them, and for the MSP, because the MSP was thinking that why we don't have any of their data. Yeah, you do. You have all their data. You have access to everything, and it's all on your internal systems. Like, that is what the rule is. I said, yeah, this is new in the proposed rule, and there's no anticipation that that's going to change in going forward. So MSPs that are supporting organizations that are CMC level 2, even if they don't have their CUI, they're going to have to be CMC level 2 because of the security protection data. So I just kind of wanted to get that out here on this recording, just to make sure that is understood by our community.
No, that's key. That's key, and it's key for us to be. When I say us, obviously I know, and and Matt knows, but us to be informed. And I really I was hoping that we had a few more people on this one, because I wanted to open up the dialogue, hopefully about not CrowdStrike, but the impact of change management in CrowdStrike. I mean, had somebody tested the update, first of all, we can blame CrowdStrike. It's easy to point a finger at CrowdStrike and say, you guys should have tested your update, you big dummies. But that's not what this is about. But the people that trusted the update. I mean, we blindly trust updates from a lot of our security vendors, and are we absolved of wrongdoing because we didn't vet the update and test it on a machine or two? But there's a setting where you can change. But how many? Clearly, government agencies, hospitals, everybody, just blindly accepts it, and BSOD for you. You get a BSOD. You get a BSOD. You get a BSOD.
Yeah.
So just I was hoping that we could have some chatter, and then responsibility. I mean, who's responsible for testing updates and the such?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an issue, and I think there's a trade-off there, right? An organization like a tool like CrowdStrike, it's fairly important that it stay up to date pretty instantaneously, right? Because if a new attack comes out, you don't want to have weeks or a month delay in getting an update pushed out to your agents about a new attack or a new threat or new vulnerability. That all needs to get hit out there pretty quickly, and which is why, right, we just accept those pushes. So it could be, the same thing could happen if, the same scenario could happen with any tool that has that level of access to your system. So whether it be antivirus or certainly Microsoft has been known to send out some things that kind of broke things.
Absolutely. But that's kind of what I wanted everybody to talk about. What do some vendors we trust to do certain things, but at the same time, should we sandbox updates or should we not? I mean, I know it comes down to maturity of the actual customer base and maturity of the security team, but at least knowing, the response was, as I'm sure, it was lucrative for a lot of people. Unfortunately, we didn't have anyone, because our folks, we use Defender, we push out Defender, we preach Defender, we preach a lot of things. We have customers obviously that use Falcon, but then they were impacted. But it's just one of those. That just in that responsibility matrix, those are more things we're going to have to in configuration management and change management. That a lot of times I've seen that not documented, or or our security vendor, in this case,
Yeah.
CrowdStrike, does updates.
Yeah.
That's inferred. But does that need to be written in? Is that going to be stressed more as a result of this? Obviously, it's only 5 days old, so you don't know yet. But I'm sure there's going to be some.
Yeah, there was a discussion. I can't think of the guy's name on the Cyberwire. You ever listen to that podcast?
Yep.
Yesterday, was it yesterday? It must have been yesterday. I was listening to it, and they were talking about maybe it was from Friday. It was Fridays. They were talking about the CrowdStrike problem, and I forget the name of the gentleman that was on, but he was talking about his experience with a similar situation in a different company. But just saying that these kind of incidents make the company change their safety. And don't call it. It's not a security. It's really a safety thing. How do I ensure that my software, the safety of the software, and pushing it out? And in his basically his thing was changes will be made in CrowdStrike. Doesn't say that they won't happen ever again. Says no guarantee, but there will be changes in their process made. Like things like you don't patch 100% of your install base all at the same time. You maybe you do it incrementally and kind of make sure that it works. You only with a small segment, and then push it out. But of course you test it first. I mean you have all those internal tests. You have all these stop gaps, all those safeguards within your company. And then, like you were saying, on the user side, I mean, my gosh, as an airline, one of the airlines that got shut down, it's like, really? You, without even testing this stuff, you're putting this out on your operational business systems that drive your entire. Imagine if that would have been some piece of software that was in an airplane, critical system on an airplane. What then? Right? They're going to just set the patch and just push it out there and have the planes drop out of the air. I mean, I haven't heard, of any, like certainly the airlines are certainly operational enough, but like I haven't heard about any operational technology or anything like that might have been affected. I don't know if you guys have heard anything. Like, were water plants affected? I mean, I doubt if it would have affected any particular piece of OT because it's probably doesn't accept the agents. The agents can't be installed on those most likely.
Yeah, those are probably a closed ecosystem, but still.
Yeah, well, they're not necessarily as close as they used to be, but.
Well, yeah, still, but I mean, it affected enough. I mean, to bring down, to crucially shut down a lot of operations. I mean, airlines, banks, hospitals, and federal government agencies alone. I mean, those that's pretty crucial. The operators behind it, obviously the core infrastructure behind them, the instruments behind them. I'm assuming that those are, like you said, are in their own infrastructure that's completely offline from the internet. But still, that's
well, like the Social Security Administration came down. The Department of Justice came down.
Federal Reserve got hit. I mean,
Federal Reserve came down. So yeah, it's lots of banks went down. Critical infrastructure.
Just eye-opening, and like you said, what if it was other pieces of those same ecosystems? What could that have been, or other ecosystems? But I know it's not directly compliance, but at the same time, compliance is how you test and validate. It's interesting, and I was just hoping we had more people here for that conversation.
Yeah,
we have us.
Well, it's one of those things that it's not. We at least we assume at this point there was no breach involved, and it didn't open up any additional breach vulnerability opportunities. We don't think, but availability, right? We never talk in CMMC land. We never talk about availability, right? Because that's not, if your systems go down, CUI doesn't go anywhere. So it's okay with the government.
Why it's a security or availability, like you said, but at the same time, it's what could have, and fortunately, like you said, nothing seems to, in that seem to be compromised or breached from that perspective. And but the whole point is a careless offshoot of an update.
Yeah, apparently, it must something. I mean, something wasn't tested if it took down every single Windows PC or Windows system that it was launched on. That's crazy. How could that, how could you let that go through? So something broke down in their internal process, because, and I'm sure that won't happen anytime again soon.
Yeah, I bet. Now you said something. You said you have a board meeting Thursday. Are we still having the community call Thursday before? Or
no, I'm gonna have to cancel that one. And then I'm on vacation after that, so I'm gonna be canceling until August Thursday, August 8th.
Oh, enjoy your vacation.
Thanks. Yeah. Take a little break. We'll do that. So how you doing, Matt?
Oh, good. We just we cut over to our GCC tenant over the weekend, so just dealing with all the fun, hectic stuff that comes after a tenant migration.
I bet. You doing a full migration?
Yep.
Wow. Ambitious.
Yeah.
Good. That is a good thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Definitely. We spent a good amount of time pre-configuring everything before actually cutting over. So it's probably about 75% of the way as far as like what's required for CMMC. But yeah, the definitely still some things need to be done, and always after a tenant move, you're gonna have issues and stuff you run into. So that's kind of what we're working on now, is just getting everything back to the functional point that the other tenant was, while having the controls in place.
So that's on the MSP side or the C3PO side? So
that's on the MSP side. The C3PAO side, that's all Google.
Yeah,
so yeah, we've got those completely disconnected. Though in theory they could kind of merge together if we wanted to just have them in the same system, but it's easier to keep them separated.
Gotcha. So are you basically going to be hosting all the tools in GCC High and supporting customers directly from that, or what are you going to be doing there?
So that's the plan. Yeah, is that basically we'll be hosting the Kaseya VSA and ConnectWise Manage on-prem, which we've had on-prem for those for a long time, just not in Azure Government. So we'll be migrating those into a Azure Government and having a GCC High accounts over there just for administrative purposes, since
Azure
Gov has to be tied to GCC High, and then the organization as a whole will be able to be in GCC, because no ITAR or any requirements that nothing that would require GCC High for us. So, but we do want to have the tools within Azure Government, so there's no argument for the ITAR export control stuff with clients that do hold it. So
gotcha. So is it you just use that environment to support your DIB clients, and then everybody else is going to be supported out of GCC?
No. Everybody's going to be
all
through there. Yeah, we're going to be doing all support through there. So,
okay. So one tool set, one.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That way it makes it a lot easier for the techs too, so they don't have to have two separate setups for commercial versus GovCons and all of that. That would be a hassle for them. So
yeah.
How are you doing your access to your customers? Out of curiosity.
What was that?
how are you doing your access to your customers? Are you using B2B or are you using name credentials, name instances in the customer's tenant?
So it kind of depends on the client, and it's also going to that's something that is still being decided on pretty much. Some clients we will be doing direct users in their tenants. Others will be using the B2B relationship, but obviously the GCC high one, we are not currently in AOSG. Hopefully we'll be approved for that at some point in the near future. So we can't really do a B2B for any clients in GCC high. Those would require direct. Or sorry, I'm saying B2B. I'm thinking CSP.
CSP, yeah.
Yeah.
But you should still be able to do B2B. But if you need
Yeah.
a partner for ALSG, let us know. I'm not advertising our services, but the whole point is I know it's only 60 something dollars.
Yeah.
If you need somebody, if you don't work, I'm sure you have somebody you work with anyway. But
yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, we are hoping to become AOSG, but our understanding is basically you get one shot, and if Microsoft says no, then that's pretty much it. So we want to make sure we're in the best position possible to have them say yes.
well, let's talk it into existence. I'm saying congratulations in advance.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know you said you went through that process. How did you find that? Was it a strenuous?
We were like the first 10 partners that did it, so it was a little bit easier. So yeah, we're definitely an OG AOSG partner. So, but was it still a process? We had to show that this is what we do. We have a heavy emphasis, and this is a focus because Microsoft is very selective of who they're going to allow to do that. And you're already pulling. Sounds like you're doing the right things. Obviously, this is years later. We were sheesh. This is 2018, a long time ago.
Oh wow!
Before that,
okay.
So we were one of the very first. But I would, I demonstrating that this is where you are, your specialties, that you can do this. I'm sure that'll go a long ways. And they've been pretty good to us. Microsoft has obviously a really robust partner program, but their government support has been. It's had challenges, just like anything else, but it's been pretty good. And I'll say once you're locked in, you're in. It's a selective committee, a selective team. I'd love to have you on the team.
Yeah.
I don't run the team. Look, I'm just. But no, it's a really, really, really good space to be in.
Yeah. No, I'm sure we've been gold partners for years. So I mean, we've got that good relationship with Microsoft already. It's just trying to get into the AOSG side of it.
So what kind of hoops do you have to jump through to get into some of the program like that? You have to have a certain number of people trained in a certain way, or
I don't know what it is now.
Sign something in blood.
I'm not certain what it is now, but you definitely need to demonstrate that this is the government services. Yeah, that will help certainly.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, I have to hop off. Brian, I will shoot you another note. I have something else for you, and I'll catch up with you later. Matt, you enjoy your week. I may ping you in the team also, bounce some ideas off of you.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Sounds good.
Not on the teams.
All right. Thanks, Dave. All right, Matt, just me and you.
Yeah.
You have any burning topics, or we want to just take a half hour back?
Yeah, no, nothing really. I just kind of wanted to make have my presence here and everything. Ask any questions that come up, and hopefully answer some questions that come up too. Yeah, I mean, you know me. I want to be a help. So
yeah, good. No, that's good. I'm glad you're participating in this. That's really good. All right. Well, we'll just why don't we just go ahead and sign off, and we'll just make it a short one today, and come back again on the whatever day it was. I said the 8th of August. So I'm going to cancel. Like I said, I'm canceling Thursday, and then I'm going to cancel the ones while I'm on vacation. But,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then we'll just store up all the questions and post them up on if anything comes up you want to talk about, just post them out there on the office hours questions, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hope you have a nice vacation.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.